So I'm finally finished with the ED transition program.
I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off.
What is good, you guys? This NWA here, Nurse Pat. Today we dropping some heat, even though it's pretty cold outside.
I'm so cold that I'm shivering.
I hope you all had a great time during the holidays. Got to spend some time with your loved ones, got some good presents and all that. So if you guys didn't know, I was basically a bedside / floor nurse in the float pool prior to getting into the emergency room transition program. This program was a generous 3 months long, but it went by dummy quick. In this video, I'm basically going to talk about my experience and how I sort of feel right now. So my hospital specifically, we haven't had an ED transition program for many years, and our nursing educator for the ED was an interim person. She just stepped up to help. She is an amazing ED nurse though, with 20 plus years of experience, so she has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. She also regularly works as a charge nurse, so she knows how to run the show. That being said though, my transition program cohort, we were sort of guinea pigs. There was 4 of us, sadly only graduated 3. Like low key, it was sloppy. We were kind of winging it and just doing the best we could with the transition. Me specifically, I was a little problem child. I had 16 different preceptors. It was a total mess. However, it did give me a lot of different perspectives on how people work. Their styles are different. Literally every single person I've been with, the way they work is different. From the get-go, our ED manager straight up told us that we're gonna have to forget about a lot of the things we learned and prioritized as a bedside nurse.
I said forget about it, cuz.
We had to do this in order to become an ER nurse. He also stated that this was gonna be the main challenge for us, and he was right. We literally had to switch gears coming into the different world of the ED. Not gonna lie, my first impression of a lot of the ED nurses and staff was that they had some RBFs, and the way they would talk to patients and families sometimes was kind of savage.
I'm over 72, and I feel great.
I don't give a fuck.
And also, knowing the tensions between floor nurses and ER nurses, I sort of felt like, you know, it was as if they were judging me or something. I felt that like maybe they were judging me or didn't like me just by the way they were talking or how they looked. So in my mind at that time, I was like, however, throughout the program, what I found was the opposite. Many of the nurses were totally down to show me the ropes and teach me things, especially with things that I have not had experience with. They would go out of the way and be like, oh, hey Patrick, have you done this yet? Or have you done this medication? Have you seen this and that? There's a patient in this room, blah, 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 that has this going on, you wanna see? And I'd be like, of course, you know, I'm totally down to learn and grow. And these nurses were freaking smart, and like their knowledge was through the roof, and I'm glad I got to hear their perspectives and their critical thinking. The time where we see nurses get sassy is when, you know, the unit gets really busy and stressful. And, you know, that's understandable. Anyone who's stressed out, busy, rushing and stuff, they're not gonna be like super duper happy all the time.
Oh, you nasty. And both of y'all still stink. Ah! Bitch! Hey! Stink now!
Or if there's something critical going on, you need to be on point and quick with things. The thing about the emergency room is that it's super busy and it can get very fast paced. It's impossible to be 2 places at once. So you have to prioritize what tasks and medications that you have to do, and you have to see which things can wait. At times I would feel like I was neglecting my patients that were suffering from pain or nausea. There are certain patients that ER nurses have to see and treat first because they're more critical and life-threatening. And the longer we wait, the mortality rate rises. So if a patient is non-life-threatening, they're stable, but you know, they have some pain or something else going on that's putting them into some type of distress, and there's something else going on in which is critical and life-threatening, sorry, your ass is gonna have to wait. This was personally tough for me because I felt like I wasn't being compassionate enough to some of my patients. They would have to wait an increased amount of time that I, personally didn't like. And that was a common complaint that I would hear from patients and family. Because they don't see what's going outside in the other patients' rooms. All they see is that they're suffering or their family member is suffering. So they feel like they need this attentive care because they came to an emergency room because they felt it was a good emergency, right? Something also that the emergency room considers is the waiting room. Even though they're not our patients, that we're not assigned to those patients at the time, we still have to care for them. And our manager specifically says that the waiting room is one of the most dangerous places for a patient to be. And the reason is we have no idea what the hell's going on with them. So things could crash down very quickly if they're not being seen and they don't have orders to work them up. We have no idea what's going on with them, and the longer they wait there, the higher the mortality rate increases. When the waiting room is packed, we're pressured to decompress. What that means is if we have patients, we need to try to get them discharged or transferred up for admission as soon as possible so we can take care of the other patients that have been waiting out there for hours. As a result, some of the floor nurses tend to feel like the ER nurses are lazy or don't do much for the patients that we send up for them. They think that we don't address a lot of the issues that the patient needs. The reality is sometimes we simply do not have the time to address every single little thing that this patient might need. The ER nurse's job is to stabilize the patient and send them where they need to go. Hey, I got this great patient I'm sending up to you guys. Did everything for you already. Did all his scheduled night medications. Took his blood sugar, he ate his dinner, gave him some insulin. Took a picture of the booty because he had a pressure ulcer on the bottom. And then his potassium was borderline low, so we replaced his electrolytes for y'all. Gave him some pain medications on the way up. Just a little cherry on the top, a little bow on the top for y'all. I would try to do everything that I could for a patient before sending him up to the floors. However, my preceptor did notice this and mentioned that it was one of the things that was slowing me down to my time management. Throughout the end, I've gotten gradually better with my roles and responsibilities, and my dexterity with performing tasks like IV insertions, Foley catheters, NG tubes has drastically improved and speeded up. Night shift is also something I've gradually been working on to get used to, as well as work-life balance. Although I've had my full 3 months of training, I do feel that there's going to be many times that I feel uncomfortable. And this is to be expected. The emergency room has many types of illnesses and patient populations that we deal with. The horizon is so broad. And there are a ton of critical type patients and illnesses that I haven't had an experience with, so I wouldn't know the exact treatments and care to anticipate for. However, I do know that I have my resources and I have my go-to peers that I can ask for help and to get their advice on. And that's the main thing that is important. Know what you do and do not know so you can ask for help. I still also have that little tiny bit of imposter syndrome, but I know that comfortability is going to take a little time. Nursing educator expects it, ED manager expects it. It's just going to take some time. Some nurses literally told me it might take up to a year for me to feel fully comfortable as an ER nurse. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but I wouldn't be surprised, right? They say as long as you don't kill nobody, it's all good. But yeah, this has definitely been a ride for me. A roller coaster of emotions, stress levels, and all of that. I have no regrets leaving bedside nursing for this experience. I know the ED is a higher stress environment, so I'm really hoping that I could last. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions or experiences you want to share in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to support your boy. Everyone out there, stay safe, stay humble. I'm out.